Greetings, one and all. This is vk3sl. Welcome to another missions session. And I'm afraid to say that I overslept, and I really haven't got anything sorted out at all. In fact, I woke up at 11:35, and I've just sort of raced out here and switched everything on, and without any clue as to how we are going to proceed. So I think I need a few minutes just to, well, get over that sort of existential thing about waking up and thinking, who am I, where am I, what's going on here, and sort of working out something that resembles a way forward. So we'll give Ken the floor for the little while. We'll continue with our theme music and with a warm welcome, but yes, there'll be a bit of sorting to do before we get into missions proper. Also, I haven't had any success getting on to Frank. Not sure what's happening there, but send him an email and a text. But we'll hear from you, Frank. I know we'll catch up. All right. Well, what we'll do is just let the music, keep the maintain the helm, or maintain the something, while I get sorted. vk3sl. Listen to the dulcet tones of Ken Murray and Craig Beard, an album which sort of sets the scene for our evening missions. We'll continue this for a bit longer while we do our checks and balances. Slow start today. I overslept. This is the consequence of lots of late night, consequence of changes of routine. And anyhow, we'll get over it. Back soon. You're listening to vk3sl test missions on 160 and also VHF. And shortly we'll probably move to UHF in the ensuing weeks. We'll see how we go, but for the time being we're sticking with 147.475. Might move up the band. We've had good success with UHF, so that's on the cards, and also there's a streaming service as well. So that's sort of working now. We had a lot of difficulties with that, but I seem to have resolved them, and it's the OBS program. It does weird things. Yeah, lots of nested menus with sort of multiple inputs that sort of work without one expecting them to. Something's going on there. Anyhow, I think it's all been tidied up. So, yeah, we have that streaming service online. It's a dedicated channel to the missions under my call sign vk3sl, and there's a blog spot if you want to make contact, vk3sl.blogspot.com as well. So they're all the go-to places for these test missions, tone tests, and well, as I said before, I did oversleep. I was in a very comfortable place, and suddenly reality dawned. We got the fire on inside. It's quite sort of it's nice to be back into the season. It's the cozy fire, but has its allures, and I really don't know what we're going to do. But I have come to one realization, and that is I'm starting to get a little bit bored with my own program. I was thinking to myself, 20s and more 20s. Well, I don't mind 20s. I like 20s music, and I like the nostalgia. Always will. But I sometimes need a break. So, yes, we've got to have a few stopgaps and a few sort of tangent changes, gear changes. I don't know, some variety. And I've got to discover new things, because a part of what this is all about is to find new horizons, discover new styles. And we've sort of done that a bit by having guests on. We haven't had any guests for a while. But I'm going to explore something different tonight. I did a lucky dip into the ether and came up with a new genre. And that happens to be, wait for it folks, medieval folk rock. It's fantastic.
Dancing to the feel of the drum, leave this world behind. We'll have a drink and toast to ourselves under a violet moon. Tudor rose with her hair in curls will make
Heard Blackmore Night. That's Richie Blackmore and a track called Under a Violet Moon. This is vk3sl test missions on 160 and VHF, and yeah, we're just sampling a new genre tonight. Just a gear change, having a bit of a break from our 20s madness, and we'll have a look and see what else we've got. We have a few things. Here is another one, Mago de Oz. And the name of this track is Abracadabra.
Si has llegado aquí, si has sabido encontrar este sitio, este lugar, no te eches atrás, déjate guiar por mi voz y verás que los sueños se pueden cumplir.
Solo has de olvidar todo cuanto aprendiste ayer. Solo has de dejar tu inocencia brotar.
Si crees en mí, yo haré que todo sea del mismo color que de la eternidad. Si olvidaste sonreír, si olvidaste que una risa te puede curar del mal de soledad, ven y acércate, volaremos a un mundo distinto, a otra realidad.
Solo has de llevar de equipaje sonrisas y por mapas tú tendrás solo imaginación.
Dentro de ti se abrirán puertas, lleva una brújula para encontrar risas. Somos de un lugar donde nadie nos puede encontrar. Ven, despiértanos y no te arrepentirás. Los aplausos que tú nos des han de bastar para volver del más allá. Somos de un tiempo de brujas y hadas. Somos los hijos de la rebelión, los condenados por anhelar la libertad. Día de cadabra y nos tendrás. Somos de un lugar donde nadie nos puede encontrar. Ven, despiértanos y no te arrepentirás. Los aplausos que tú nos des han de bastar para volver del más allá. Somos de un tiempo de brujas y hadas. Somos los hijos de la rebelión, los condenados por anhelar la libertad. Día de cadabra y nos tendrás.
We're listening to Mago de Oz and a track called Abracadabra, a little excursion into medieval rock and folk. And I've just had a chat with Frank, and we'll dial things up very soon. So I look forward to having Frank with us. And yeah, we got some sort of email glitch which we'll have to look into because we weren't able to correspond earlier. And that track reminded me of something. It reminded me of a cello group that I used to listen to. In fact, I used to buy their music, and I even had a cello choir playing heavy metal music at one point quite a few years ago, about a decade ago. It was a group of young people, and we used to really enjoy playing the music of Apocalyptica, which is not unlike what we've just heard. So I reckon we'll continue with a bit of Apocalyptica now while I get a few things sorted, and it's a track called Somewhere Around Nothing. This is vk3sl testing. Listening to the Finnish cello ensemble Apocalyptica, 4 cellists, and they are pretty scary characters. Sort of metal kings. They are sort of geared up and look completely terrifying, but I'm sure they're very reasonable people. My students used to love them. We had a cello choir, and once a choir, a cello heavy metal group playing electric instruments, and I used to partake and I'd do the arrangements, and I loved it. It was a very visceral experience, especially when you're amped up and you had a high octane drummer assisting, and we had a number of their charts. We used to play the chart you just heard then. It sounded very similar to that. In fact, I should see if I got some recordings of us, because we did quite a few concerts. Anyhow, it's all coming back to me now. Apocalyptic, it's sort of under the mantle of medieval medieval metal. Sorry, Frank, I haven't got round to the Zoom yet. I'll send that to you in the next few minutes. Good to know that Frank is with us and everything's fine. It's just something's a glitch with our emails and what have you, so we'll sort that out as we go. But let's have a look and see. Yay, here's another one. This is another track we used to play. Another fave from the Apocalyptica Vaults, a track called Prologue. The music of Apocalyptica, and that was Prologue, a track very well known to me at an earlier incarnation in the 90s. I used to play a lot of Apocalyptica. They used to also do Metallica covers as well. It was a great experience. I love it. I miss heavy metal. It's visceral, it's earthy, it's on fire, and it just gets into your nerves. It's probably better music to play than listen to, perhaps, but I don't know. Yeah, it's good to hear that again. I'm pleased that sort of came out of the ether. That's what happens. One thing leads to another. Right, well, we got another one last one. It's another track we used to play with our heavy metal group, and I wonder what they're all doing now. They'll all be in their 30s now. Here is Bittersweet, and something a little lower key. Here we go, Frank's on the list. So we'll play this and then we'll usher Frank in. So this is our Entrance, vk3sl testing.
prayer was cast on devotion.
She's the one that I adore, queen of my silent suffocation. Break this bittersweet spell on me, lost in the arms of destiny.
Bittersweet.
I won't give up, I'm possessed by her.
I'm burying her cross. She's turned into my curse.
Break this bittersweet spell on me, lost in the arms of destiny. Bittersweet, I want you. And I need you. Break this bittersweet spell on me, lost in the arms of destiny. Break this bittersweet spell on me, lost in the arms of destiny. Bittersweet.
And that final acrid chord ushering us into another world. And I'm very pleased to say that we've got Frank on the line. Hello, Frank. Can you hear me?
Hi, Steve.
Hello. I'm glad we made it. It worked. Well,
We caught up against the odds.
yeah.
It's a very funny thing that's happening to the email. I didn't get any indication that you hadn't received it. You know how you get a bounce sometimes.
Yes.
I didn't. Yeah, so I don't know. It disappeared into the ether, Steve.
Yes, it has. It's just evaporating emails. We'll have to do some testimonials and work out another platform for if this is not going to happen.
That's right.
But,
Carrier pigeons.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely. So anyhow, I'm pleased it's all worked out. And
So am I, Steve. Now,
Yeah.
before you get off the heavy metal,
yes.
let me tell you my suggestion for medieval rock.
Oh, yes, medieval rock. I love this genre. This is a new genre here. Fire away.
This is not quite as medieval, I think, as what you've been playing, but it's in the same kind of ballpark. It's a group called Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull, T-O-L-L?
Tull.
Jethro Tull. Okay.
I think Jethro Tull was a figure in very early English literature.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was in a book that maybe Chaucer wrote or something like that.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, there's a whole stack of them here. There's Locomotive Breath and there's Aquarung.
Aqualung.
Aqualung. Yes, that's it.
That's an album. And there's Days of Future Past.
Okay.
There's another album called Thick as a Brick.
I can see
I've
that
got
here.
some of this.
Oh, really? Fantastic. Okay. Well, would you like to recommend something?
Well, perhaps play. Could you see Days of Future Past?
Days of Future Past. I'm looking through the list here. Just I'll look it up specifically.
No, I tell you what. All right. Well, otherwise, do Thick as a Brick.
Okay, there's a whole album here though. But I can just play the first.
There is a title song called Thick as a Brick.
Jet. What was the name of that first track again?
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. There we go. I'll just see if we can find it here. Yes, I can live. Oh, no, wait a minute. It says living in the past.
Oh, that's it.
Okay,
Yes,
all
that's
right.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
that could be good. Well, we can follow on with that in a moment. Yeah. So, let me find it. Find it on the list here. But so you're familiar with the genre? I didn't know.
Oh yeah. I think I might have mentioned the group to you once before.
You possibly have, yeah, and it's probably gone one year and out the other.
I quite like them. They go back to the 60s, 70s, I think.
Yeah.
And they had one foot in the sort of semi-folk genre.
Okay.
And they had a very good flautist called John Anderson.
Okay. Right.
The flute's probably the main instrument in it.
Yeah,
actually.
fair enough. All right. Well, this seems to be a live performance that's popped up here, so we'll follow on and see see how it sounds on 160 and on VHF.
Very good.
Happy and I'm smiling, walking mile to drink your water. You know I'd love to love you and above you there's no other. We'll go walking out while others shout of war's disaster. Oh, we once giving, let's go living in the past. Happy and I'm smiling, walking mile to drink your water. You know I'd love to love you and above you there's no other. We'll go walking out while others shout of war's disaster. Oh, we once giving, let's go living in the past. Oh, we once giving, let's go living in the past. Oh no, we once giving, let's go living in the past.
Well, that was a great selection, a great suggestion, Jethro Tull. I'm quite impressed by that, Frank. Quite nice.
I think they're quite good.
Yeah.
And, it's not really quite the medieval rock that you're thinking of, I think, but
No, it's fine. It's good. It's got a nice sort of folksy flavour and bit of spice, and it's out there. They're a bit glam, and I quite liked it. It's got air, it's got space. I think that's good. I'll definitely listen to some more. You have mentioned it before, and unfortunately, I don't organise my notes very well, and I'm going to put a circle around this one. I'll underscore it, and it's now in the vault.
Clay thick as a brick. That's a good one.
Thick as a brick. Well, that's exactly how I feel at the moment. I'm thick as a brick. I have got no. No,
it's really bad when you have a sleep. You have a sleep and you wake up worse than you went to sleep.
Absolutely, this is it. I feel like I'm sort of dreaming still. I was in the middle of a dream. Yeah. I woke up and I turned over and looked at it and I thought, what?
It's a very surreal feeling, isn't it?
It is. It's an existential pang. That's what it is.
I sometimes wonder when I get like that, am I really dreaming?
Yes. Yes.
I don't push this too far or people think you're crazy.
I know the feeling. I often think that. I wonder, what is this? That sort of existential sense of who am I? Where am I? What's this? What's this reality?
That's it. I think we're getting very deep.
We're getting very deep, but it is true. I know this feeling. It's happening all too often. Should we have? Look, I think now we've set the scene. Should we have some thick as a brick? We can have the.
Well, if you can stand one more, yeah.
Oh, look, I like it. I'm quite entranced. So I think this will help me. I might go and get a glass of water actually as well.
Yeah.
So that could be a good idea. Now let's find it on the list, and I think it's the title track on the album. So we'll just play this.
Yeah, it is.
And wait a minute. There's a bit of a process to this. It's a rather convoluted way of entering things into the database. I look it up on the iPad, and then it goes into my history file, and then I can access it. So here we go. Thick as a brick, aka vk3sl. Here we go.
Really don't mind if you sit this one out. My words but a whisper, your deafness a shout. I may make you feel, but I can't make you think. Your sperm's in the gutter, your love's in the sink. So you ride yourselves over the fields, and you make all your animal deals, and your wise men don't know how it feels to be thick as a brick. And the sandcastle virtues are all swept away in the tidal destruction, the moral malay. The elastic retreat rings the close of play as the last wave uncovers the newfangled way. But your new shoes are worn at the heels, and your suntan was rapidly peeled, and your wise men don't know how it feels to be thick as a brick. And the love that I feel is so far away. I'm a bad dream that I just had today. And you shake your head and said it's a shame. Spin me back down the years and the days of my youth. Draw the lace and black curtains and shut out the whole truth. Spin me down the long ages, let them sing the song. sun plays on the infantry returning from the sea. The doer and the thinker, no allowance for the other, as the failing light illuminates the mercenary's creed. A bonfire burning, the kettle almost boiling, but the master of the house is far away. The Pharisee is standing, their warm breath clouding in the sharp and frosty morning of the day. And the poet lifts his pen while the soldier sheathes his sword. And the youngest of the family is moving with authority, building castles by the sea. He dares the tardy tide to watch them all aside. The cattle quietly grazing at the grass down by the river, where the swelling mountain water moves onward to the sea. The builder of the castles renews the age-old purpose and contemplates the milking girl whose offer is his need. The young men of the household have all gone into service and are not to be expected for a year. The innocent young master, God's moving ever faster, has formed a plan to change the man he sees. And the poet sheets his pen while the soldier lifts his sword. And the oldest of the family is moving with authority, coming from across the sea. He challenges the sun, but puts him to the run.
And so the track continues. Blues. We'll be listening to Jethro Tull.
It's one of those sort of concept albums where one track leads into another.
I think that's the case, but it is taking me somewhere, Frank. I love it. I really quite enjoy it.
I think that was a better track than the other one. It's a bit more along the lines of the medieval rock.
Yes, definitely it is. It has. It's got that sort of folksy element. And I thought that was a great selection. So thank you for that.
Thank
You've introduced something new to me, which I'm really pleased. So yay, Thick as a Brick is the name of that album. We've probably heard about 3 concept tracks in Metamorphosis there.
I think we did. I was wondering when you were going to stop it.
I went and had a glass of water and I thought, oh, this is really good. I was kicking back listening to it, and yeah, it was great. I do like the sound of the jazz flute. I think it's really effective.
It's good. Yeah, he plays it really. It's got a lovely husky, earthy quality, hasn't it?
It does, and and I like the articulation. You can get sort of all manner of sort of edge to the sound, a furry edge, a direct edge, and sort of punctuating sounds. It's a great instrument for up close to the microphone, I think. Yeah,
very much, and it's good for fast rhythmic patterns like they were doing.
That's right. They're all very virtuosic players, and I do like those sort of those epic gear changes in the music as well.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fabulous. So that's on the list now. Jethro Tull, and and I noticed there's a whole range of things, and it's the fellow is Ian Anderson, I think.
Anderson,
yes.
I said John. It's Ian Anderson.
Yeah, Ian Anderson, Scottish musician. So I think
he is a very good player, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's great, and they've been going strong since the late 1960s. Amazing.
They have.
Still going. So that's
still going. Oh,
I think
great.
so. I think so. I have to see. I think that's the case.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I've lost track of them.
Yeah, fair enough. No, they've got their own website. No, it looks like they are still going. So
Excellent.
There we go. Yay.
Okay.
Good. Well, what's news? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well,
is Kathy getting some more mobility? Is Kathy recovering with her wrist and so on?
Yes, she is. It's a little bit slower than she'd hoped, but it's quite a big break.
Yeah.
That she inflicted on herself. Two big bones in the wrist broken, and she's got this plate and I think it's 10 screws in there.
Yeah, that's full on. That's a major operation.
I think it's been very well fixed though, but she's got to just recover the use of her hand and be able to twist her wrist without pain, and it's gradually loosening up, she says.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She's still a fair way off driving. I think it'll be 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes. Yes, I can understand. Well, do send her my best wishes, and
I will
from all
indeed,
of us here,
Steve, yes.
from all of the Missions Brigade as well. I'm sure people, will feel the same way because it's very incapacitating.
Yeah, it is. But we're getting by, and it's good to see her getting improving. She's got to do hand exercises, and she goes to the surgeon on Monday.
Okay.
And alternate Mondays she goes to the hand therapist.
Right. Yes.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's important. You have to have that longitudinal sort of sense of things, don't you, when you're recovering from an injury like that? Yeah.
And if you lose it, that's right.
And
so you can't see the end of it.
Yeah, so you're able to get out and about. And have you been to any concerts and things lately? Or?
No concerts. So we went to a play on Wednesday.
Oh, yes.
MTC play where we go. It's the second of the new season that we've been to, and it was just a two-hander, just 2 people in it.
Really? Okay.
It was called. It was written by Joanna Murray Smith, and it was called Berlin.
Right. Okay. And, was it historical or what was that?
No, it was contemporary.
Right.
It raises the issue head on of when do the Jews start not living with the Holocaust?
Oh, okay.
To the extent that they perhaps have.
Okay, it's a complex issue then.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the plot threw that into stark relief.
Yeah.
Very well done. Very wordy.
Yeah, I can imagine it'd
that
have to
will-
be. It would have to be. It's a
Yeah.
very complex issue. Would require a lot of context and philosophical reckoning, I suppose. And
yeah, all of that.
yeah,
But the actors, particularly the woman, was unbelievably good.
oh, amazing.
Just was.
Great.
Yes, she was a German girl. I mean,
Okay.
she acted as a Berliner.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Wow.
Just the realism and
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Even
Wow.
without seeing her, she just came.
Yeah.
She radiated such a strong personality.
Oh, wow.
Just yeah.
I'll check that
So
out.
you enjoyed that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do.
I'll look it up and just read about it. It sounds like an intriguing subject. And
It is, yes.
Oh, that's good, Frank. So yeah, getting out and about. We're heading off to a concert tomorrow. Mr. H has got a concert at the Conservatorium. So
It's wonderful.
yeah, brass
So he's-
concert tomorrow. Yeah. So
Excellent.
so
Excellent.
we'll
So
be-
he's playing.
Yes, he is. So we'll be heading out there.
Yes.
And they had a string concert today, and they play one of my favourite. I wish I could have gone. They play one of my favourite works in the world, which is the introduction and Allegro for Strings by Elgar. It's a fantastic piece.
I know it. I do know it, actually.
Love
Yeah,
it. Love
yeah.
that piece.
It is lovely,
I
isn't it?
would have loved to have heard. I've only ever played it once, and it really struck a chord. I just fell in love with that work, and I might play it at the end. Actually, it's just
I
such.
think I've got it on a vinyl. I think it might be on the other side of Enigma Variations. Or
Okay,
one of those.
yeah, quite possibly. It's written for string orchestra, for string quartet
Yeah.
and string orchestra.
Yeah,
But when he
it
brought
is lovely,
when he
isn't it?
brought the program home today, I thought, oh, what I would have given to heard that. It's just
Yeah.
such fantastic music. But anyhow, but yeah, he's got his concert tomorrow, and there's it's good to be sort of looking towards live performances. I hope we get some traction. I hope we don't go into another lockdown.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm really totally back to normal in terms of my social life,
That's good. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, excellent.
which is pretty active at the worst of time.
Yeah.
But I go to 2 U3As a week, and I go to Radio Club on Thursdays, as you know.
Sure. That's good.
And I have having regular lunches with some lawyers I went through with, and
that's
other
most-
friends.
Most
So it's-
excellent. I nearly
Yeah,
popped in on Thursday, actually, to the radio.
Oh
club.
yeah, well I wouldn't have been there. But
Okay.
having said that, I go there.
You went there this
Why
week.
wasn't I there? No. Something
Yeah.
came up, and I couldn't make it this week for some reason. Anyway,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but-
but no, I had a couple of hours, and I ended up going out to Dandenong to a certain DJ store and got some peripherals for the booth here.
Oh,
They were having a big
excellent,
sale of
excellent.
new old stock and second-hand
Oh,
stuff.
that's where you got your CD player, I bet.
Yes, I did, and it was only $50, and it's brand new, and it does everything.
yeah.
It takes cards and USBs, and it's one of these sort of multi-functional devices, which I think is going to be very useful here. And,
Yeah, absolutely
and I'll
will.
have some confidence playing CDs. And I did get a splitter, a distribution amp system as well. So that's going
Yes.
to help with functionality, because there are so many sort of asides to the main feed from the desk here. And so we've got
Yes.
the streaming
Yes.
service, and we've got the logging system, and
You have.
and they all need to be catered for. But at the moment, they're sort of piggybacked one on top of another system.
Yes,
and
yes.
it's
There's
not-
probably better ways to do it.
there are, to avoid ground
meter
loops.
anyway.
Yeah, that's it. So it needs to
Yeah.
be done properly, and this will enable that. And so that was really good. And they had They had stacks and stacks and stacks of XLR leads. And
Did they?
Yeah, but second-hand, very good quality ones for next to nothing.
Yeah.
So
I think I've got just enough for what I need. There.
yeah, sure.
My mics and so on.
That's it. Well, all the patching here is done with XLR leads, and
Well,
it was great.
They're sought to have, aren't they?
They're very good, very robust, and
Yeah.
and that's nice to have a way forward with that as well. So yeah, it ended up being quite
Very good.
productive. So that's my only technical news.
Have you had any success with the SIG gen that went
Well,
awry?
yes. Look, I spent another evening on it during the week, and I was able to get the microprocessor working, which is a major. That was one
Oh,
of
that's
the,
good.
That was what I wrecked inadvertently. I broke
Yes.
there's a ribbon cable, and I broke a pin off it. and I wasn't,
God.
and these things are just tiny, you know, and
So you've soldered onto the.
well,
where it
I
was,
did a
have you?
hard wire, but I did it very carefully, and
Yeah.
that part of it came alive. So that's
Oh.
really good. It means at least it's
There's
sort of
life.
well, there is, and I haven't destroyed. What I was worried about is that I thought I might
You
have
destroyed
destroyed
it, yeah.
destroyed the EEPROM programming for the
Yeah, well,
which would next be impossible to fix. But look,
well,
that's
that would-
okay.
You couldn't fix that.
No.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is
That's-
good. So
well,
I'll be visiting. There's a certain gentleman that Wayne knows who's is an expert on Roden and Schwartz equipment, and I'll be sending it to him, and he'll do hopefully do a fine tune on it, and I'll have a good standby SIGGEN, which will be
Yeah,
something
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been looking for a very long time. It's exactly the same as the one as I use here, but.
Was he the guy that helped you out before? That was the
Yes,
other
he
one?
did. He did a fantastic job. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
thorough. And he'll probably change the ribbon cable completely and do other things.
Yeah.
But I needed to establish whether that I'd done any collateral damage. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so look, it's all good. It looks like I've got a positive way forward. So yeah, last week I was lamenting the whole thing. It was one of those weeks last week where everything sort of fell upon itself. But now,
Yeah.
it's all okay.
Anyway, you were glad that you did well out of the Moorabbin
Yes.
Hamfest.
Oh,
did
look,
you?
very much so. It was great. Now, I got a whole stack of cavity filters for $5 each for the.
What are you going to do with them? You're going
Well-
to go microwave.
no, the cavity filters for UHF, and
Filtering for filtering out interference.
yes, there is some interaction, and this will
Oh
help.
yes, you get stuff from pages, don't you?
Yes, there's a bit of pager problem, and also when I run AM, it gets into the UHF system, so this might help sort of fine tune that side of things as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
And
very good.
so that's if I ever go back to AM, I would at some point like to go back to AM, but
Yeah.
but we'll see. Yeah, so that's just
All right.
paving the way, or whatever they say. Yay.
Yeah.
So anyhow, now you mentioned it's Mr. Foray's birthday this week.
So it is.
Yay. Well, last week.
It might have been Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure.
Yay. Well, that's
Certainly during this week.
So yes, Gabriel Fauré, French composer, wonderful composer. He wrote so much great
I
music.
think so.
Yeah,
he did.
and
Of course, the Requiem is
oh,
his
yes.
big
Yes.
ticket item, isn't
it
it?
is his big ticket item. It's the piece to I was going to say to die for, but that's probably not the right thing to. It's actually a piece to get married to. The Agnus Dei from the Fauré Requiem I had at my wedding. And
wow.
we had the Ormond Choir and the Conservatorium Orchestra all came down and they all played.
Steve.
We had
Doesn't
lots
get
of
much better than that in Melbourne, I tell
we
you
were
what.
very lucky. We were still, because we got married young, we had all of the
Yes.
the Conservatorium was still sort of all the musicians were still very much at the helm, and
that's great.
they bandied together and we had it was a beautiful performance of the Agnus Dei, which is such a gorgeous piece.
Oh, yes.
So yes, the music of Fauré rings true. I love it. But I was thinking there's a couple of examples but might be nice to sort of look at a couple of historical examples, as we do here.
Yeah.
Performers who knew Fauré. And
Yes.
and one of them is Mr. I don't know if I actually knew him, but he's sort of the era, and a very beautiful cellist, Pierre Fournier. And
Oh yes,
I just-
I've got. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I've got him doing the Bach cello suites.
oh, do you really? Oh, fabulous!
I'm almost sure I have.
Yes, he did
I
record them.
get him mixed up with Paul Tortelier.
Yeah, sure. They're similar
He
generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And beautiful. That's great. I love to hear those. Actually,
I'll check on that and let you know.
Yeah, do. Oh, thank you.
But he's a lovely player. I've heard him.
Beautiful musician. Very refined sound, and
Yes.
and just quintessentially French. And I love it. They had a particular term of phrase and a vibrato and a luminosity, a perfume to their sound.
Yes, it's very tasteful without being too stylized. isn't it?
Absolutely, you're spot on there. Yeah, this is this is a lovely tribute to Mr. Fauré. So let's have a listen to the famous Sicilian Opus 78.
Yes, please.
vk3sl testing. Just heard For a Sicilian, Pierre Fournier on the cello. And
Beautiful, beautiful.
yeah, very straightforward and no manic lurching or no electric bell vibrato, none of that. It was just a very straightforward, beautiful, simple rendition of the piece, which I think is just sublime. Absolutely beautiful playing in every sense. Lovely sense of line. Yay, so acknowledging Fauré, Gabriel Fauré, and we've got a few other things actually. We can play some more a bit later on, but yeah, it sounds, that was a good suggestion, I think.
Thank you.
Yay, all right.
I like to try and keep up with the birthdays.
I think that's good. It's nice to, I think that's sort of a nice way to keep a semi-random element in our...
Yeah, well, it does, doesn't it?
It allows us to sort of, follow on with some micro theme here and there. But, Fauré. And I'm trying to think, there's some beautiful performances of of his violin pieces too. And I just did a quick look before. If we can check on the list here. Yes, there is.